happens. So my main characters just come purely from my imagination, and how that happens I have no idea. I don't plot either. I just start and then it rolls out and they kind of develop, and I can see them in front of me. I can even see how they look, and they don't look like people I know, anything like that. So my secondary characters, however, most of them are inspired by people I know. Sometimes I tell them, sometimes I don't. I guess they can figure it out when they read the book. Usually I change the names, things. And as far as messages go, I don't know, spread the love, I suppose. And I've heard from a lot of people like, oh yeah, it's quite weird that some of them fall in love quite quickly, or that you can just like be turned within a second. Like for sometimes there are straight people in my stories that like turn gay overnight. But for me, like I was always straight. Like I've only dated men before, and one day I woke up next to Alex and we got married a year later. So yeah, it is possible. So I've got a completely different perspective on this. So I guess just a bit of anything's possible.
Character. I think like I echo what everybody said about like you kind of design a character and then you start following them around and writing down what they do in the best possible way you can. I think everything is fiction. So although in the portrait of Adi Denton I've got Radcliffe Hall and Una Troubridge and Gluck and Winneretta Singer and that whole cast of characters, they're fictions, they're my fiction. Just as in The Saddest Sound, I've got a character it's based on Peter Sutcliffe, but it's a composite of a number of serial killers. And I guess a lot of my characters are kind of composites of people I know and maybe a bit of me in some of them. Well, I'm all of them, actually. For example, sometimes though, some weird stuff happens when you're writing. So for example, when I began writing the portrait of Adi Denton, a character appeared on the first page who I had no idea who it was. And I was just, oh, okay, who's this Edward Makepeace then? And Edward Makepeace became central to the book, and is going to continue through the entire trilogy. So yeah, sometimes I think doing creative work really knocks you off your feet in terms of weird shit that happens. And in terms of message, I don't think there's a big message, but I think what I've been trying to do, if I look at all the books and try and analyse them in an English teachery way, I think what I'm trying to do is tell untold stories. Tell the stories, for example, of the victims of a serial murderer and all the ricochets and ripples that come out from that. Tell the story of the poor lesbian, the working class lesbian or gay men. We know loads about Radcliffe Hall and Una Troubridge. We don't need to know any more about that, but they make an interesting backdrop for stories about working class people, and they're lost to history. So I guess if I was going to look back and go, oh, my books have this message, then I'd quickly write that down. But yeah, that's all I could say about that message, really.